magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformer Slag Podcast live stream. I'm a little out of it today. My name's Protoman. This is the face that runs the place. This is the voice that you hear Monday to Friday. And what a Monday to Friday it was. I've been doing the podcast since 2009. I've been doing the podcast on YouTube since 2017, 2016. And in all my years of doing this, I have never seen such a condensed amount of Transformer news in one place ever. And we're gonna have a lot to talk about today. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. Super chat your opinions of this, because this is a lot of stuff. We had tons of stuff leaking from the factories. We had photos from the factories. We had photos that were kicking around for a couple weeks on Chinese message boards finally surfacing. We've had our Transformer Thursday. We had the collector Target reveals. We got a lot of stuff. I actually held off on showing off a brand new reveal until next week, because we just have so much today that I figured we'll just keep it at that. Next week we'll have a brand new reveal of some new Transformer merchandise. We'll save it for next week. Maybe some other stuff too. I'll see how I feel. But let's jump into it, people. We had a busy week. We're even going to cover some news that I didn't talk about during the week. Some updates to some of the news because we got new images and new information. That's the whole point of recapping the news, is because sometimes things change as time progresses and there's updates and there's, housekeeping. Let's do it, shall we? First piece of news, which started at the beginning of the week, was we got an update on what's going to be happening with the Transformers Beast Wars vintage line, the retro reissues that are Walmart exclusives. Now, we knew about these listings since about, I want to say, December of last year, but a new addition to this listing has been shown, and is that of a vintage Iguanus that has been added to it. And chances are that the Iguanus is going to be the original regular class scale. I know some people are like, oh, maybe it's going to be the Transmetal too. I don't really think so. People are saying that too about the Pterosaur, or being the Transmetal, but I don't think that they're going to move out of that card back style just yet. I think they're going to cover a lot of those 95, 96, 97 characters. And then maybe they'll start moving on to Transmetals. I think it's way too early for that. They could really milk this line for a while. And why give away the good stuff right away when you could get people to buy some of the other stuff? I'm pretty sure they're looking at some of the numbers and adjusting accordingly. Now, the only thing that kind of sucks about it is with this listing that you're looking at, we have Beast Wars Vintage Pterosaur over there at $24.97. Man, see, the thing that sucks about that is, number one, when we got Cybershark just a couple of months ago, Cybershark was priced with the brand new pricing for our, I guess we'll call it, and I'm going to use air quotes here, deluxe class Beast Wars stuff. The original price, what Cheetor was part of, Tigatron, and Rat Trap, even though Rat Trap's a regular scale, they were originally $22.97. When Cybershark came out, that was the new inflation price of $24.97, and that now is becoming the standard for that price point. It looks like Pterosaur is going to be added to that, and it's probably going to apply to K9 and Iguanus over here too. As you can see from the image here, this is a personal collection image because I needed to put something together to show you guys the scale of things. While K9 could get away with the deluxe price point, he's a big, beefy, 1997 plastic ABS figure. In all honesty, the $24.97 is worth it because I think that's a fantastic figure. Maybe it's just a bias because I love that toy. But $24.97 for Pterosaur, I don't know, man. I mean, I understand that getting a complete Pterosaur is difficult today because his little gun that used to be stored behind his head gets lost all the time. You can barely see it in the picture there. It's in his right hand. It's hard to see, or the left hand for you guys from your perspective, but I don't know, man. That's a lot. And Iguanas, I mean, I was looking at sold listings for Iguanas on eBay. I see some Iguanas listings selling for $8 to $10. So to pay $24.97 for a complete Iguanas when you could probably get them right now from eBay for $8 to $10, unless he has some radical paint scheme that really makes it unique, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's just my take on it. The Beast Wars reissue line has kind of been hot and cold. I love Beast Wars to death. It's one of my favorite Transformer series of all time. And having the old toys available for people to pick up is pretty great. But at the same time, they seem to be hitting a lot of clearance. And some of the pricing choices have, dare I say, excluded people from wanting to participate in that. It doesn't speak for me. I don't really need to add myself into that equation. I own almost all of those original toys. But for other people that want to participate in that and own characters like K9 or Pterosaur or Iguanus or even the ones before that, like Cheetor and Primal and Scorponok and Cybershark, some of those prices are, they're a little touch and go, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe the prices will be moved around. It's something I do want to address when we get to the bottom of this segment, and it has to be what's going on with with the pricing and the inflation to begin with. But I'll get into that when we get to the bottom of the news today, because there is a lot to discuss today. The only thing that I have a question is, and it's in the bottom right there. Uh, Tarantulas was part of that listing too initially. Now he's absent. So did we lose Tarantulas? Is he no longer part of the Beast Wars vintage assortment? Was it a confusion that was mixed with the future legacy product? We don't know. Hopefully we'll learn in the near future, but just wanted to address that for you guys. Next up, let's talk about Minerva. Minerva, she back there? You can barely see her. Oh no, wait, she's not back there. Oh well. Either way, Minerva, we got a Transformers Legacy Walgreens exclusive Minerva that was shown. These were, man, these images have been kicking around, no joke, in Weibo's message boards for probably about 3 to 4 weeks now, for a while. And no one posted them on the Western forums. Most of them were in private forums in Weibo in China, so maybe that's part of the reason why. And I've been staring at these images for weeks, and I just didn't want to talk about it until it was public. Someone on Twitter posted them. The rest is history, and here we are today to talk about it. So here we got Minerva, again, Walgreens exclusive. The MSRP that we're going to assume on this is going to be $24.99 because the past Walgreens exclusives that have been of the deluxe price point have been $24.99, whether it be the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Silver Streak or otherwise, even that of the Ratchet. Mind you, that was in the pre-inflation of $22.99. What I really like about this more than anything else is the fact that it has two new sculptings on it. It has the brand new head sculpt, which matches the comic book depiction of IDW Tread and Circuit Wrecker's book, Minerva. So pretty cool. She also, in her vehicle mode, has the light bar. I understand that there's a lot of people that are still not a fan of how the alt mode looks. I get it. But you know what? At the end of the day, and I said this in the individual segment, this is an IDW Minerva. And it also tells us that we are going to be getting a Minerva at some point again, because it shows that Hasbro is willing to have this trademark and do their thing. So we're definitely going to probably see more of this character from a trademark nature. I mean, I would love it if, hey, they got Minerva now as a trademark. If they ever decide to do animated, finally give us a retail version of animated Minerva instead of just a custom class exclusive that goes for $1,000 on eBay now. I was at that BotCon, so it's not a big deal for me, but I'm saying for other people. I want people to have those opportunities to get those rare and expensive characters. And Minerva is just one of those. Like, just every version of Minerva is expensive except her SCF PVCs. That's about it. Her original toy is $2,000. Her Wonderfest exclusive model kit is, I think last I checked, $150 to $200 pre-assembled. Post-assembled, probably even more. Her Kotobukiya figure is $80 to $100. Her let's see, I'm trying to think of something else that is available. Her bootleg by the Aladdin bootleg is $100. The Korean bootleg of Minerva is like $100. So it'd be nice to see something that is Western retail, that is cheap, that you could be able to pick up of her. It's pretty cool otherwise. I also like that it's, something that I missed the first time around when I saw the Elita 1 tooling is her black gun is actually molded and styled like the original Nightbeat Minerva gun that came out all back in the day with the Headmaster Juniors. So missed that the first time, see it now the second time. Pretty cool. I dig it. I love it. Not much more I could say, but Minerva, number one, man. Love her to death, and I want more Minerva. Pretty cool. Let's jump into some Beast Wars license stuff. Let's talk about the Monopoly Beast Wars. Transformers. This showed up on an Australian gaming website. It is licensed by Hasbro Gaming, so that means it will at some point show up in retailers under the Hasbro emblem. So this isn't something that's exclusive to Australia. I know there was a lot of weird discussions happening, but this is an official Beast Wars Monopoly game. Obviously, this was something that was planned and licensed back then when Beast Wars was going to be the big thing for July in 2022 when the Rise of the Beast movie was going to be in 2022. Obviously, that is not the case, but that is not going to slow down all the Beast Wars product we are going to be getting in the summer of 2022. And this is no short example of that. Now, this Australian website has it listed at $80.55 Australian dollars, which with conversion comes to about $55 USD. Which again, some people are going like, ooh, that's really expensive. So to give people a perspective, a normal Monopoly board game, which like if you went to Walmart.com right now and bought a Monopoly, vanilla Monopoly, it's between $19 and $20. Those normally come with 5 or 6 die-cast pieces, the hotels, the houses, and all the cardboard stuff, and that's it. This one, on the other hand, is a little bit of a different animal. It comes with 14 different character pieces. 7 of them are robot modes, 7 of them are beast modes of Primal, Rat Trap, Cheetor, Dinobot, Megatron, Black Arachnia, and Waspinator. Clearly, because they have both modes there present, they're not intending for a 14-player Monopoly game. I think that there's going to be a transformation element involved in this game, which will be pretty cool. Maybe you can move more spaces that way. Not to mention, there's also included with what is supposed to be the houses and the hotels, which are going to be Energon cubes and Energon shards. You also have stasis pods and the golden disc. So there's probably going to be a very different kind of game of Monopoly going on here. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. I love board games. I love Transformer board games even more. This is going to be something I'm going to be very interested in. And it's just looks really cool. It just looks like, the card art is using a lot of that 95, 96, 97 box art. The actual box art itself actually comes from the Transformers Mutating card game. That's some old school, very rare box art that's used there on the front that was only used with one piece of merchandise. The actual art that's used on the board itself is screenshots from the show of all the different locations. There's a lot going on here. I really dig it. There's a lot of attention to detail and love. I want to see more. I want to see more. I'm excited about this. This is definitely going to be something I'm going to pick up. When you buy a board game, it's something that you enjoy for a continuous amount of time. It's something that you could bust out at any point. You could bring it to a TFCon or a BotCon and go, hey, anyone want to play Beast Wars Monopoly? I know in the early TFCon days, we used to play the Transformers Armada board game. And that game is amazing, by the way. Anyone who loves board games, get the Armada board game. It is customizable. It is super fun. Love it, love it, love it. Anyways, I mean, assuming I think this is probably going to be like $49.99 to $59.99. Who knows? Maybe cheaper. Maybe it'll be $39.99. Some of the other licensed board games that Hasbro has done, like Fortnite and stuff, they're slightly more expensive. Like they're in that 39 to 49 region. But this is Transformers. This is a brand they own, so it's a little different. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure we're going to get more information on this and higher quality images. Aaron, you're using the Toy Armada account today. You're logged in the wrong account. What's up, Aaron? Anyways, but yeah, pretty cool stuff otherwise. Pretty cool stuff. Now let's jump into the news this week, the big news. We had our Transformer Thursday. It had Isabel. Isabel dropped a beautiful A-bomb in the middle of the street. It's funny because the live streams of the Transformer Thursday or Transformer Tuesdays or Fan First Fridays or whatever, they're all pre-recorded. They're all pre-recorded, and I'm surprised that no one went back and edited out her using the A word. I'm not going to use it because I don't want YouTube to flag me, but it was hilarious how she used it to mention a certain character that she thought was very bad A. But we'll get into that in a moment. So we had our Transformer Thursday. We had BMAC, we had Mark, and we had Isabel, and there was a lot of stuff that they showed off. We're going to go through a lot of it. We're going to go through some of the liner notes and explanations of some of the lines of thinking of Mark and Evan and all the designers at Hasbro. We're going to go through all that. We're going to start with the man himself, Mr. Speedy of Blur. And guys, save your super chats and everything for afterwards because we got a lot to go through. You could if you want to comment on something, just super chat it, and I'll read that. But a lot of the green chats I'll have to wait probably till after because there's just too much to cover right now. So we're gonna start with Blur. Blur is based off of his Transformer Spotlight appearance, Casey Collar book, one of my favorite Transformer books because it talks about the racing history in Transformers culture, more specifically on pre-war Cybertron. The veneering and detail on this one, the head sculpt, everything is really going for that aesthetic of that Casey Collar designed Blur. Shane McCarthy did also the designs on that too. Just a fantastic book if you ever want to read an IDW book and you don't know where to start. It's one of those early pre-Cybertron, war stories. So pretty good stuff. Otherwise, I really like it. It looks really cool. I mean, the only negative I could say is because it has to be part of that Studio Series 86 Blur mold, which just has all that kibble on the shoulders. If it just didn't have that kibble, I think it would be a very close to 10 out of 10 kind of toy in my look, in my own personal bias. But Mark said that the big thing with that one is they really wanted to match the blue from the comic with the blue on the toy and catch that muted tone of blue from Spotlight Blur. And they felt that they did a good job. And I agree. I think it looks fantastic. I'm very excited about this one. The whole Velocitron line speaks to me, but there's some of them that really, really speak to me in a lot of ways. So really cool stuff otherwise. Next up, a female character. Um, Originally was a female character from the BotCon book, but we really didn't catch it. The focus was more on obviously her Diaclone partner of Dia. But let's talk about Velocitron Burnout. And Burnout as a brand new head sculpt. Mark kind of in his vision of the story and canon of this character is that it's a battle mask, and if you picked up a skids and you painted it and put the skids head on this mold, it wouldn't be incorrect. It would just be without the battle mask. So pretty cool there. I like that there's a little bit of lore, even though there's not a large amount of lore for this Velocitron Speedia 500 outside of obviously the IDW book that focuses just on the Wreckers characters themselves. People like Burnout here are in the book, but they're in the background. So to get a little lore for the foreground, pretty cool. The little image there that I included is what it is based on is a throwback to the old Diaclone Honda City Turbo, and using that color scheme, that look, that style. Obviously doesn't have the Diaclone driver, but otherwise looks fantastic. Mark mentioned that they really wanted to capture the more dirty rubber tire kind of look for an off-road kind of racer onto the tires there, and gave that kind of rubbery, dirty wheel color. So they were able to kind of like do something that just wasn't boring black tires this time around. I think it looks great. I think it's great. And again, kind of I love that they take some of these old BotCon ideas. This one was BotCon 2015. If you want to go look at the old toy, take those old BotCon ideas, take those old BotCon trademarks, and kind of bring them to life into the modern era and have updated versions of them. So pretty cool. And speaking of updating something to the modern era, oh yeah, let's talk about G2 laser cycles. 1995. This was, fun fact before I even get into this. The G2 laser cycles, along with the GoBots, were some of the like the G2 GoBots, the little spy changers, as we would call them years later. They were some of the very last Transformer toys before the shift to Beast Wars and Kenner. And I remember picking up Beast Wars toys, and right next to those Beast Wars toys were leftover stock of this guy right here, or this girl, depending on how we're gonna have that discussion in a moment. But this guy right here in the G2 laser cycle character of Road Rocket Deluxe class, obviously a retool repaint of RC from Legacy, looks fantastic. like literally knocks it out of the park. Again, we knew this one was kind of coming because of, again, the image on the top right there. Made some cameos in the Wrecker's book, so we already kind of had an idea of how it was going to look in the coloring and stuff like that. If I have one complaint, and obviously it's a complaint, but it makes sense because after I talked about it, Mark listened to my segment on the podcast and sent me a PM, and he said the reason why they couldn't do it, and I should have noticed was I was saying how the translucent energon that's on it is blue on this one. It would have been really cool, like the original toy, if it could have been red, like the original laser cycle, like the original. I obviously had to put some batteries in it to get this old 28-year-old. Is it 28 years? Excuse me, 27-year-old G2 figure. But yeah, so I was like, oh, it would have been cool if you could have some clear translucent red. And then Mark pointed out, he's like, yeah, that would have been cool, but then the translucent plastic that would have been used on the front of the motorcycle and the headlights would have also had to be red. And I was like, ah, you're right, I didn't think about the molding. So either way, that was my one complaint. I'm pretty sure at some point this RC mold at some point is going to have translucent red, and when that translucent red does exist, I'm going to just swap it with my laser cycle dude here, and everything will look fantastic. Now, Isabel mentioned that this is a she. Mark mentioned quickly that it was a he. There was a bit of a confusion there. We don't know if this version of the character is a he or a she. Chances are it's probably going to be a she because it's sharing the RC mold, although that's not really a reason to be a she. I mean, Transformer molds have, switched genders despite the fact that it's the same mold. Look at Minerva, probably the best example going all the way back with Nightbeat and Minerva. But I mean, this character historically has been a he, both in the Japanese mangas and in the original G2 release. Maybe this is IDW version and this is a she. Sure, why not? I don't care. It still looks great. It's one of those classic G2 toys that I remember back in the day. And to get an updated version of it is pretty hype. Pretty hype. Just give me that red translucent plastic at some point, and then it'll be my perfect laser cycles. Perfect, perfect. Next up, and also with a bit of an explanation, let's talk about Clampdown. Now, Clampdown, the only thing that was pretty much mentioned by Mark in terms of the liner notes was they really went out of their way to match the same kind of white that the original E-Hobby had back in the day, and of course the Masterpiece too. There was complaints from people going, why didn't it have the red accents that the original E-Hobby toy and the Masterpiece had? And he pretty much said, look, if you put Clampdown next to the new Red Alert figure that we got from Kingdom, they're going to look very similar. So he wanted to add something that at least made it look a little different, at least, make in the same way that we had two versions of Deep Cover, one that was the Hasbro Pulse version, one that was the Netflix version. And they were two very different kinds of color schemes, different kind of dark blue and black and blue. So it's kind of the same thing here. They just wanted to do something different. And he said that in the end, if you really want to make your perfect Clampdown, just take your Kingdom, cannibalize your Kingdom Red Alert and swap the parts. You could easily swap the parts, and then you'll have your perfect deep cover. Not deep cover. I keep calling them deep cover. Clampdown. So that's really all we could really say about that, but pretty cool. Otherwise, we've seen him before, so it's not too much of a big surprise, that one. But you know who is a big surprise? And very surprising indeed, and made me very excited. And is also one per case like Clampdown. Let's have the discussion, the Cosmos discussion. The flag bearer, the hype man, the original mold of all of this, the big man himself. So Cosmos has a brand new sculpt. He is not a extensive repaint retool of Origins Bumblebee that we initially probably thought was going to happen. And he looks great. I know some people are going, he looks weird. He looks like a trash can. He looks like the animation model. That's kind of how he looked in the cartoon in a lot of ways, that alt mode and, the stubbiness and the weird kind of look. For me personally, I love that he's the flag bearer. I love the little extra piece of lore that Mark kind of explained. He was designed by Ataku-san back in Takara, who is obsessed with kind of having that, I guess, like show accuracy. So he went above and beyond to kind of do that. And then you add that little extra bit of lore that exists within the toy that, he's the flag bearer. He's also the race announcer, and the voice of the races. So it's really cool. And again, when you have a checkered flag, that's when a race ends. When you have a white flag, that's when a race is about to finish. But you could also, because that's the other side of the flag, doesn't have the checkered thing. So you have two different kind of flag styles for two different kinds of storytelling. But it could also be, hey, it's a surrendering flag, so it could be that he's surrendering. It's a piece that uses the 3mm peg, so you could pop it into other 3mm ports. I'm pretty sure people are going to have a lot of fun just with that flag piece. I know I will. There's going to be so much dioramas and displays that can be done here. I think it's going to look great. I'm so excited about him. He looks really, really cool. And, the little extra thing too is that little flag piece also becomes, you take off that flag piece, and that flag, I guess we'll call it the pole, becomes a gun for him. It has a little gun, and he said that he wanted to give a gun to Cosmos because a lot of the mini bots did not come with weapons. To my knowledge, the only mini bot that really came with a weapon, if you don't want to count stuff that was sculpted onto them, would have to be like, Outback, really, in a lot of ways. He's the only original G1 one that came with a weapon. Everyone else, like, you could say, oh, Warpath had one on his chest. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, so they wanted to give him a weapon. And again, because it's a deluxe class, you got to give weapons to the mini bots when you're at that price point now. And I think he looks great. The only thing that sucks is he's going to be one per case. One per case. Walmart exclusive. Original mold. Cool design. People want to finish their mini bot collections. This is going to be a madness one. This is going to be crazy. Probably the hardest to get out of the bunch, but I'm still excited. Velocitron, sign me up, man. Like, I don't know how I'm going to find these because usually Walmart exclusives have a difficult time in Canada, but I'll figure out something. I'll figure out something when these show up. So let's get into the next one here. Let's talk about Road Hauler. Road Hauler, there's not much to mention here because we've already seen it. We talked about it. We already knew who it was going to be and how it was going to look. The one thing I do want to address is in a split second of the live stream, you could see the back of Road Hauler with his pegs. Now, if anyone knows the story with those pegs, I have a broken one to show you. Here's how the peg looks on the back. Very long peg. Here's what happens if you transform it once. It joins the matrix. It's just how it is. I'm going to probably have to get another one at some point. So this was a problem that existed both with Inferno and Grapple. And now with Road Hauler, they've addressed that issue. They've made the peg shorter so it does not break. It doesn't have that extra leverage in order to bust off. And we have now a fixed issue. It's a good thing when Hasbro notices the problems from some of their past tooling. This is great. It's fantastic. I love it. I think it looks great. The only other thing to mention is brand new head sculpt. A little bit. It's a screaming grapple face, which is now on a Road Hauler instead of a regular grapple face. It's cool to get one of those obscure G1 hobby characters, give them again retail kind of space, and then people could own that character instead of having to go out of their way and buy a $300, $500 hobby figure. This is way more superior in a lot of ways. And the fact that they fixed the peg, hey, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, let's talk about one of Proto Man's favorite Transformers of all time. One of them in my top 3. Let's talk about Nitro Convoy. Not much that could really be said about the Racing King or the Racing Queen. If you want to talk about the gag dub from Cybertron for Override. But this was also designed by Otaku-san. Again, going for that show accuracy and everything like that. Apparently, the plastic that was used both on the feet and on the top of the gun for Nitro Convoy Override was the plastic that is very hard to paint, that usually paint doesn't stick to. So that's why there was a lacking of paint that was put into those two regions. But pretty much the gun and the feet. But I'm pretty sure, at some point we'll see different versions of that and everything. And it'll look fantastic. I'm super excited about this. I love that it has the gold face because the gold face is Nitro Convoy, the orange face is Override. We have a super chat, Tarn Dance, because he's finally getting a toy of his own. Oh, we're going to get to that, Alden. Don't worry. We're getting to that. It's going to be a busy day. We're already 40 minutes into the stream and we're still talking news. But yeah, I'm excited about it. This is the one that I'm probably going to get 3 of. No joke. No joke. I'm probably going to get 3 of this person. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I'm going to get 3 of them. Like, and probably people won't be as excited about Override as I am and Nitro Convoy. So it is what it is, but I'm still excited. And then we have Scourge, our leader class. First thing that they wanted to address is if you look at the box art in the middle there, the bottom middle, we don't see the pink accents because at the time they were trying to figure out how they were going to do the translucent plastic because it's very different when you're doing it with the laser prime kind of mold as opposed design, excuse me, and color scheme and color layout as opposed to the Scourge layout. This is called Scourge. It's called Robots in Disguise 2000 Universe Scourge. The original trademark of Black Convoy that we were hearing did not happen. I'm not surprised. I was surprised when I saw it the first time. Oh, hey, Black Convoy. Like that's surprising that they're going to go about it that way. But no, they're keeping with the Scourge trademark. It's going to be a closed box for the leader class like all the others. So that's kind of just going to be the new thing. And Mark really made sure, like he went out of his way to make sure that the deco guys and stuff were going to put that tempo of the upside down G2 Autobot emblem, which represents the Destructicons or, you know, the Decepticons in that Robots in Disguise car robots continuity. So pretty hype stuff otherwise. All great, all fantastic. They also mentioned that all of the new stuff moving forward with Velocitron and everything, we're going to have our accessories. I wanted to probably should have brought out a better example, but uh, all the accessories are going to be now in tissue paper. They're going to be wrapped and behind the tray of your figure. So if you can't find any of your accessories, they're going to be there because they've already seen through different retailers saying, hey, the deluxe Cyberverse, the last kind of wave stuff, and the early legacy stuff, there was problems with accessories falling out, people stealing things. So if you're looking for your accessories in the future, chances are they might be there wrapped in some tissue paper. Next up, we have, and this one they didn't address much on it, but I'm going to address it here. Let's talk about Maverick for a moment. Now, when we're talking about Maverick, the one thing that I do want to bring up is I think that this is also a repaint in a lot of ways. So on the right is the SDCC 2021 release. It had 2020 written on the box. It came with a beach ball, and it looks like it had a very non-weathered design on the surface of the vehicle. I did not get this figure, so I cannot confirm and or deny. Maybe someone in the chat could. Now, the new version that they're showing off here, the 2022 version that has different box art on the front, doesn't come with the volleyball, and it looks like it has a much more dirty or weathered kind of design on it. This is different. This is different. It has the updated logo on it, so you'll be able to tell the difference. It'll say 2022 for the crossover. It was reissued again, primarily because they want to now hype it properly, it just in time for the Paramount movie. Because just like Beast Wars, it was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed, and now it's coming out this year. So it's different from that SDCC release. This was a figure that John Warden worked on just before he moved on to the Power Ranger brand and everything. Mark was the one who did the coloring for the head sculpt, though. So that's all Mark on that one. But I don't know. It looks like it's 2 very different releases in terms of coloring. And you get an extra accessory with the SDCC one. So there is a little bit of a difference there. I guess maybe to encourage people who, you know, got the first version. If there's a second one and it's a variant and you got to get them all, get the completist kind of mentality, I guess. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get more information. They didn't address it in the stream. It was just something that I noticed personally. I was like, huh, a little messier than the first one. So we'll see what happens. We will see. We will see. Next up, let's talk about some RED. So we'll just cover this quickly. It's the Transformers Robot Enhanced Design line. It is the Next Wave Wave 7. And Wave 7 this time around is G1 Thundercracker, Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime, and Transformers Prime Megatron. We discussed in the last segment how, despite the fact that, the original Wave 3 Starscream was $24.99 and came with all those extra accessories, the 2 open fists, the 2 closed fists, the Starscream, King Starscream hand poses, the other hand poses, the blast effects, the crown, the cape, the shoulder pads, and how Thundercracker is going to be the same price with none of that stuff, just blast effects and some extra hands. From what I was told, it seems that the reason they were able to get away with King Starscream being at that price and giving more stuff was the wave that King Starscream came in. He came with Bumblebee and only Bumblebee. It was a case of 3 and 3, 6 in a case, 3 Bumblebees, 3 King Starscreams, and the Bumblebees were bare bone. They were much smaller. It didn't come with a lot of accessories. So the Starscream in that wave was able to take more of the budget and work that out. Where in the case of Thundercracker here, sharing it with Optimus and Megatron, let's just say he can't get some little extra accessories this time around. It's all got to go into the Optimus and the Megatron. Again, they still look pretty cool. I'm digging the Optimus with the Matrix accessory, the opening chest where you could put the Matrix in there, the 2 different faceplates, the open and mouth close, 2 closed fists, 2 open fists that could be used to hold the Matrix, the 2 swords, the 2 blasters. Looks great. Again, $24.99. They look really good. Brian Parrish worked on these. He's the guy who's been behind most of the RED designs. So looks really good. These already started showing up in Taiwan, in Toys R Us in Taiwan. So what that means is any day now, these could be showing up in the States. So check your local Walmarts at some point. These guys will be showing up. There's somebody who loves these, so I'm pretty sure there's someone that'll enjoy it. I'm pretty sure. Next up, let's talk about Shattered Glass. Let's talk about Slicer. So we learned our next Shattered Glass, and it's a Shattered Glass Wheeljack, but not really, but kinda, but not really, but kinda. And it's Shattered Glass Slicer. Now, Mark really went out of his way. He's a madman with this one. Um, the classic case of a figure doing double duty, much like we saw with Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, where with the different head sculpts, it could also be Diaclone Ultra Magnus. It could also be Powered Convoy. It could be all kinds of stuff like that. This one, it could be your Shattered Glass Wheeljack, aka Slicer. It could be your Action Master Slicer with Action Master armor and Action Master buggy and little repainted fast track that could also double as an official red tyrant spear for your Black Zarek if you don't like the Black Zarek spear that you already have. A lot of crazy stuff going on here. Really, really crazy stuff. And again, doing that crazy homage, going all the way back, doing the exosuit and the Dune buggy, the buggy accessory with the Action Master from the 1991 European exclusive Action Master Slicer. He mentions, completing those mini collections, getting Action Masters, getting mini bots, getting Diaclone characters. That's cool because that speaks to different parts of the fandom that have already gotten some of the same, getting Wheeljack again and again, getting Starscream again and again, or even getting a Bludgeon again and again. Something like this, most Transformer fans don't own in a previous incarnation. So it speaks to a lot of different fans that they don't have this already. So that's really hype. I really dig that a lot. And I mean, I think it looks great. I really do. I think that he did a fantastic job. There's a ton of stuff going on here. And this was our pre-order that hit, and it sold very, very well from what they were saying. Not much really more I could say. Just I'm very impressed with how far they went. So much so that he went one step further. Let's talk about Energon Downshift, which later on became our Slicer today. And he had these 2 little weapons, these 2 little Energon weapons that were part of the Energon Downshift mold. Not only do you get the brand new exosuit from the Fast Track mold with your Shattered Glass Slicer, You also get 2 brand new, sculpted just for this figure, weapons that have articulation on them, sculpted to be an homage to the original Downshift Energon, aka Superlink Wheeljack, as he was called back then. And there's just so much going on. There's just so much. It's a love letter figure. There's just so much going on, and I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate, they didn't have to include those accessories. They really didn't. They could have just stuck with that one missile launcher that Wheeljack already comes with, and that could have been it. But the fact that they included that extra as a nice little bonus, give a little bit of a throwback to the Energon fans, and the Galaxy Force, not Galaxy Force, Superlink fans, and that character. That's fantastic. It makes me now want for them to now take that mold and give it the downshift Energon Wheeljack colors and include those accessories. I'm pretty sure maybe at some point that'll happen. Pretty crazy. Love it, love it, love it. So much crazy stuff going on. I love it. It's great. Now we got more. We got more. We got more. So now we have the Target stuff. How do I explain this? Okay. So I don't know how Hasbro convinced Target that, hey, we're going to make some exclusives for you, and it's going to be of stuff that I guess will, kind of sell, maybe. So we have our Street Fighter set. So back in 2018, we had the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter. So they were celebrating the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter because 1988 was when the original Street Fighter came out, and Street Fighter 1, which isn't that very good a game. And they did these 2 little box sets. They did this fantastic one here of RC. I'll show you the actual images afterwards because the glare is killing you. But it was a cool little box. It's like, oh hey, look, you get RC, Hot Rodimus, Ken Chung Lee. Look at that. Oh, yo, that looks cool. Street Fighter. Yeah. I mean, as a lifelong arcade rat, huge fan of Street Fighter, love that brand. I actually have some Street Fighter figures here on my desk, actually. Um, you know, I bought this right away. Super hyped about it. They apparently reissued them. They're going to be reissuing them for the market. So here is the Ken slash Hot Rodimus doing all the little poses here and there. Using at the time was a Titans Return mold. Titans Return were the brand new hotness at the time. And using that mold for Ken, sure, I guess. Why not? Sure. The RC into Chung-Li is absolutely fantastic, though. The articulation and the homages that could be done to the original Street Fighter II animation sprites of Chung-Li from China, fantastic. I love it. It looks great. So if anything, just get it for that one. What's interesting that I want to bring up, though, is when I picked this up, this was already on sale. It was at TF Source, I think, or Big Bad Toy Store. I forget who I got it from. But these were $79.99 when they originally came out back in 2018. Hasbro Pulse has them right now for $74.99, and that might be the actual MSRP when these show up in Target. So they're actually cheaper than what they were before. Now, this might not be how the packaging is. They said they're going to have some kind of retro style packaging. I mean, there's all English on this. I mean, this was the Japanese release by Takara. There's all English on this. Obviously, the back has Japanese and everything explaining the story, but I mean, maybe they might have a similar kind of packaging, but at least it looks like, look, in an inflation world we're in today, it's cheaper than what it was before. Is it still a good price? Not really. You're still paying $74 for 2 deluxes when even in the post-inflation world of $24.99, that's still $50 for 2 deluxes, so you're overpaying for a license. But I mean, it's still a really good Chung-Li figure. So, I mean, maybe you'll find someone who wants to go halfsies on you or something. I can't speak bad of it because I really like it, but I do understand that it's overpriced, in my opinion. And then, of course, you have the Bison slash Megatron Convoy Optimus slash Ryu 2-pack. Now, that one was originally $129.99 back in the day. I didn't pick that one up because it was ridiculously expensive for what you were getting. Now it's $112.99, so it's also cheaper than before. But I don't know. They don't look as nice. Even the websites, when they were doing the photography for it, they kind of recognized that the articulation on these like when you look at Hot Rod, aka Ken, he's doing the Shoryuken, he's doing the Hurricane Kick, he's doing the Hadouken. He's able to do those poses. When you look at Chung Li, she's doing the spinning bird kick, she's doing the Keiko Ken, she's doing the lightning kick, you know, she could do that. I don't. They couldn't do anything with these molds. Yeah, Bison stance. That's it. Maybe his head stomp stance. Look, the head sculpt for Megatron works for Bison's head sculpt. Kind of works oddly enough, but otherwise, I don't know. Definitely the weaker of the bunch. Definitely the weaker of the bunch. I don't know, but again, hey, it is what it is. We got a super chat from Joseph Ritter. Can you offer a guess of what the Hasbro has as the exclusive for SDCC? New SF new Street Fighter looks interesting. Um, no, I can't. uh, we'll find out soon enough. The listings have already started to show up in some computers. $104.99 Canadian. Stay tuned for that. That's all I'm gonna say. And last but not least, this was the weird one. This was the weird one. Tonkinator. 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 Featuring the members of Tonkinator, Megadozer, Motorload, Motor Mix, Power Digger, Skyhook, and Mega Hauler. They took the Tonka brand and they took the G1 reissue Devastator that they did a couple years ago through Walmart, and they put the Tonka emblems all over it, and we now have a Tonka-inspired Devastator. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one. I get it. I get it. Like, look, it's the reissue Devastator was $76.97 at Walmart. They're asking $104.99, so we have a pretty much an almost $30 inflationary with this. It's not because of licensing. Hasbro owns Tonka, so it's not for a licensing reason. I don't know. I do not know. Maybe when it goes on clearance or something, maybe I might get it, but it is kind of weird. And not to mention, a while back, we had a bootleg from KB Toys back in 1999 called Robot Fighter Construction Quick Change Transformation System. And it looked very similar to a good old Tonkinator over there. You might as well just slap, repro labels. Literally could give me some Tonka stickers and you're good to go, you know? So I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was in the boardroom and they said, "Hey, look, you know, we're going to take that G1 Devastator mold and we're going to do an exclusive color scheme for Target. What do you think we could suggest that would appeal to a certain audience?" And Tonka is definitely not one of them. Let's talk about a brand that is still around. You go to Toys R Us, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, there still is a Tonka section. When I was at HasCon in 2016, they had a nice big booth still for Tonka. But kids don't play with Tonka like they did back in the 80s and the early 90s. It's a brand that, look, Hasbro bought that brand out because they were having financial issues in the 80s. I think the buyout happened in 91. So it's not exactly a flourishing, amazing, hot, brand that, hey, people are buying this because it's Tonka. They're buying it because it's Devastator. It looks like G2 Devastator. It has a whole bunch of Autobot logos on it and Tonka logos. At that case, I would have done Shattered Glass Devastator, give them that medical kind of color scheme. It would have appealed to two different markets, the Shattered Glass people and the G1 completists. I think that would have been a lot more of a better seller. Maybe they want to share that redeco. Save that redeco for the future at some point. Who knows? Who knows? What does Aaron say? Aaron Archer, no, no, no. This kind of idea comes from the guys in the boardroom. Oh, well, there you go. Aaron Archer, cool idea to make Tonka brand robot, but don't name it Tonkinator. Weird for sure. There you go. Straight from the man himself. You know? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. That's something literally They probably just had like 3 guys sitting around and they just thought up some silly idea. But I don't know. Look, you could pick up the bootleg. No joke. I think Wheeljack Slab. I don't promote Wheeljack Slab because his prices are terrible. But I think Wheeljack Slab had this bootleg for like $40. So I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Silly idea. Not feeling it. We got a super chat from T-Formers 2002. Isn't it funny that the last yellow TF exclusive is aka Belvatron was also suspiciously using an old bootleg color scheme? That is true. That is very true, T-Formers 2002. It didn't have that rainbow color on the top, but the rest of it, yeah, was 100%. I wouldn't be so, you know what? I wouldn't be sometimes I feel like, and I see it with Funko a lot, but maybe not so much with Hasbro. But sometimes I feel like they go, "Oh, we got to do a color scheme." Okay, and they go to Google Images and they do a search and they just see the first image and they just base it on that. And I almost feel like, some of these color schemes, I feel like they probably typed like G2 Devastator toy and a bootleg image came up and that's what happened. Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes you don't know the stories of what's going on. But that is very true. But speaking of good yellow toys, speaking of something that's exciting, speaking of something that was surprising, speaking of something that me and Aaron were talking about with VW and them never wanting to play game again. Speaking of some brand new images, let's talk about, this is the hype one, Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee 4-pack, Creatures Collide, the bugs are back. We got the Volkswagen Beetle, used for Goldbug, licensed by, I probably should have done a little a close-up. You could barely see it right next to Goldbug on the back of the box. It has the VW license there. Goldbug is back, updated, fantastic, super excited. This is probably some of the best news of the whole weekend, in my opinion. And man, oh man, that is great because that means that it's not just stuck with the Walmart exclusive. This mold could be used all around. They just have to change it up. That means at some point we might get a Studio Series 86 Buzzworthy Bumblebee's Legacy, whatever you want to call it. They're going to give it the proper yellow because on the right there is the Netflix Bumblebee. It has that orangey kind of yellow. Obviously, anyone who watched the original Sunbow cartoon, Bumblebee more had a stronger, vibrant yellow. So I'm pretty sure they'll do the vibrant yellow on that one, call it Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, maybe give him an accessory, and everyone is going to be super happy when he's a deluxe in retail. And all those people that scalped that guy on the right are going to be stuck with it forever, unless you're a completist. Now, the guy on the left, Goldbug, fantastic, using that shattered glass head sculpt that they put on the shattered glass mold, giving it that Goldbug color scheme, has the weapons, has the bazooka, super hype, super, super, super hype. And also confirmed because there were some leaked images, they're actually advertising the swappable head sculpt in the instructions. So we see here that Sky Wasp, which by the way is an homage to an old canceled BotCon idea from Jesse and Powered Convoy. So super hyped to see that. We've got a super chat. Prime time. Do you think we will get a new Thunderclash since he is in the new Wreckers comic? Anything is possible. Maybe from that Motormaster mold. Possibly even. Anything is possible. But who knows? There's no trademark for Thunderclash for the longest time, so that I can't confirm. But yeah, anyways, getting back to this, thanks for the super chat though, Prime Time for 5 bones. It gets to the point where like we have the 2 new head sculpts, we have the homages to BotCon stuff, we have homages to Halloween HorrorCon stuff, we got homages to Toy Beast Wars color schemes, we got deluxe Insecticons, we have super hard to get molds now with the Goldbug and the throttle bots. Fantastic, love this. The first time we saw this listing in the AEN computer listings from Target, it said $73.99. I really hope that it stays at $73.99 because if it stays at $73.99 and you're getting 4 deluxes for $73.99 when deluxes right now are $24.99, that's hype. That's really great. That's a lot of savings. I mean, obviously, for some people, it might not be that interesting because there's too much diversity in here, and some people are just kind of pigeonholed into the one part of the fandom that they want to collect. But if that's the case, pick it up, get the one you want, sell the rest. I saw that with the Worlds Collide box set. Worlds Collide box set had a little bit of Shattered Glass, evil versions. It had a little bit of Japanese G1, it had a little bit of Beast Wars, and it had a little bit of G1. So there was a little bit of everything for everybody. The Beast Wars fan took the Black Arachnia, the Japanese fan took the Wilder, aka the Headmaster Junior, the you know the Shattered Glass kind of evil fan took the Nemesis Primal, and then someone wanted that Bumblebee. I'm pretty sure somebody wanted that Bumblebee mold. I think it looks great though. I'm super excited. I can't wait for this set that comes out. I don't have Target here in Canada. I'll just probably have to buy it online or whatever. That's probably my only option. But that Goldbug is going to be the get. And Ransack. Ransack, look, Deluxe Insecticon. That's pretty hype too. If you got Night Prowler, you want to complete your Halloween Horrorcons, same story. You got to get Sky Wasp. Everything's hype. Everything's looking great. Everything's looking great. Super nice. And the last piece of news today, almost an hour and 5 minutes into the stream, and it's the big piece of news. It's the big piece of news. Our 2023 midsummer product listings found in the Walmart computers today and yesterday, technically. So we have Walmart exclusive Transformers Velocitron Speedia 500 Wave 2, summer 2023. And we have Transformers Legacy Midsummer Wave 4 and 5 2023. I'm not going to go too much into it because we already kind of covered a lot of it to begin with. Because, look, a lot of it is stuff that we're going to go deep into in the near future. But man, there's a lot of cool stuff here. If you want to hear more about me talk about that, I did a segment just yesterday where we dive deep into this and try to make sense of everything and who it could be with some of these characters. I mean, man, that Hotshot, is that going to be animated Hotshot? Is that going to be Armada Hotshot? Is that going to be Energon Hotshot? Hey, Aaron, look at the bottom right there. Leader, Armada, Megatron. You had a lot of a hand in the veneering of that figure. Is it going to have the styling and sculpting and detail that you did back in 2000 and 2001, going into 2002? There's a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's Tarn. There's Tarn. People have been waiting for a Tarn figure forever. Skyquake, one of the hardest Transformers Prime figures to buy. Transformers Prime Skyquake, forget about it. Late wave, he barely made it on the shelves. Now you're going to be able to get a leader class of him. Deluxe class Needlenose, last time we had a toy of him, I worked on him. I worked on Deluxe class Needlenose. I wrote his bio. It was very silly, that bio. It was a fun bio still. The point is, that shows how long ago. What was that, 2015 I did that? That shows how long ago it was since we had that Needlenose. That trademark expired in 2019. They refreshed it. Now we're getting a Needlenose figure. Junkion? Who is that? Deluxe Junkion? Is that a Hound repaint? Is that taking the motorcycle from Legacy of RC and doing another repaint with that? What's going on with that? So many questions. So many questions. So much cool stuff. Super chat your ideas. Super chat who you're hyped for. But that's it for the news. And we're not done yet tonight. Because you got to pick up your Symbiote Studios plushes. Because they support the podcast. They sponsor the podcast. You got to get the Symbiote Studio plushes. The brand new one. We got the Skywarp to go with your Sky Wasp. That's the newest one that we've revealed. It's already on the front page of TFW. You could check it out in fine detail. I uploaded the high-res images there. Awesome stuff. We still have a lot more to reveal. Next week, we're going to probably have maybe another reveal. We will see what goes down with that. But again, if you want to be part of the Symbiote Studios tribe, wearing our Catnip Bravo shirt, and of course, because it's a Bumblebee day because of Goldbug, again, plush t-shirts, pins, all licensed, all Hasbro exclusive, all awesome. Get that Unicron plush. How do you not have a giant Unicron plush? Turn the camera a little bit. How do you not have a giant Unicron plush on your couch in your Transformer room? Or it's in your bed even. Yeah. Sleep with the Chaos Bringer. Don't you want to sleep with Orson Welles? Maybe you don't want to sleep with Orson Welles. But either way, he does some bad commercials. That's too inside baseball. Anyways, but still great stuff. Again, plush pins, t-shirts. And again, if you like Transformers and you like other Hasbro brands, you got G.I. Joe, you got My Little Pony, you got Power Rangers, you got Magic the Gathering. I need more of those Magic the Gathering pins. I need more of those. I got to pick up more of those Magic the Gathering pins. Got to make some casting costs. But it's awesome stuff. So again, symbiotestudios.com. Go check them out. Link in the description below. I'll post, if you're watching the replay, it'll also be in the link in the description below, the pinned comment and everything like that. And last but not least, Aaron's here today. So if you haven't watched the latest episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, we talk about Transformers alternators and Vinyltech, the original 6 of how the line got off the ground with all its car licenses. And we just talked about, Volkswagen and Goldbug and everything, and how that's going to be the Volkswagen Beetle. Find out what Volkswagen thought of being part of the alternators line from Aaron's mouth, and it's not very friendly. Again, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go check that out. Pretty hype stuff. Just throw the search in your YouTube machine, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Listen to me and Aaron talk for hours on end about toys. It's a visual podcast. It's not just hearing our voices. We post behind the scenes pictures, sketches, all kinds of stuff. It's a visual podcast. It's an hour to 2 hours each, depending on the topic. We talk about all kinds of brands, not just Transformers, Batman. We talk a lot of Kenner and Hasbro stuff. Be sure to check it out, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We want to grow that channel and have fun there too. So you could get bored of listening to me all week if you want. And that's it. But we're not done yet tonight. So I actually got some stuff in the mail. I want to give a shout out to Michael Koo in the chat. He sent me a little goodie box in the mail. I had to rip off all the addresses. Michael sent me a crazy little goodie box of a lot of Mario merchandise. This is probably the coolest thing that he sent me. He sent me these Super Mario level builder, aka Mario Maker, candies. You have to make them in a tray and stuff. I think it is. They're like the candy toys. You have to put color and everything. So that's pretty hype. You can open those up by Bandai. Oh, rival company to Takara. So those are pretty cool. Also a bunch of Mario stuff in here. Little Hot Wheels Mario Kart. And then you got a Cheep Cheep and a Wendy Koopa. They don't call her Wendy O Koopa. I guess they don't want to get sued. But of the Transformer related stuff he sent me, because he heard that I didn't open up my Kingdom hot rod yet because I want to get a second one. So what did he do? He sent me a second one. So thank you, Michael, for that. I will open up this one and I will take a photo shoot. So that was pretty hype. He even wrapped it nicely too. A whole bunch of other Mario Kart stuff. A lot of Super Mario stuff. Pretty hype. Little Toadette and even a Toadette Mario Kart. That's pretty cute. And more Transformers. A lot of Transformers. You got Optimus here. This one is hype because I don't own this blaster. So that's pretty cool to own the Titans Return blaster. This is really awesome. So I never owned him. Maybe I mentioned that on one of the streams. Michael, are you listening? And last but not least, the bottom of here, Ultraman Orb DVD. I will watch this. This is the movie. I did not watch the series yet. Ultraman Orb, I'm behind on that one. But it's got Ultraman 7. He's my boy. So him and Ultraman Zero. But thank you, Michael, for the nice goodie box in the P.O. box. That is very nice of you. A lot of cool stuff. But this is probably the most interesting thing. I always like stuff like this, all these kind of Japanese candy toy kind of stuff. I always love this kind of stuff. I used to, in my Chinatown, there used to be a great store for that, and they don't exist anymore. And I remember back in the 90s, they had Beast Wars 2nd and Beast Wars Neo candy toys. And they used to buy all of them. Almost all of them, you could barely see them. Oh, I can't see them from the shot here. But all my Beast Wars candy toys came from that store. Oh my God, so cool. So cool. But thank you, Michael. Again, awesome stuff. Thank you so much. So let's just take some super chats for the rest of the night. We're just going to take some super chats. We'll answer some questions from the YouTube members too. How long we got left? We got 45 minutes. I'm sorry that the news was so long. I have not experienced that amount of news in a very, very, very long time. So hopefully we'll get back to some kind of normality. We will have a reveal next week. We're gonna have some new Transformer product that'll be exclusive to the live stream next week. So stay tuned for that. I know that won't get leaked out, so that for sure is safe. But we'll see what happens. So let's look at what we got here. Lizard Sphere X. I hear Orson was full on green penis. I don't know what he's talking about there with Lizard Sphere X, but I guess he wants to talk about male genitalia, apparently. Why not? Stinkfist69, did anyone see that G.I. Joe custom Road Pig, aka at Viper Island? Probably the baddest figure I've seen. I have not seen that. Is that recent? The new Road Pig figure from the Dreadnoughts? That'd be pretty cool. I like the Dreadnoughts. They're always awesome. JR Mina from the Philippines. What's up, JR? Hey Proto, if you're a magic card, what would be your casting cost? Oh well, compared to other magic cards, I'd probably be like a 1 casting cost. I'd be like here you go. I'd be 1 blue. I like to feel if I was a color in Magic, I'd be blue white, maybe, or blue. I'd be blue, maybe, a blue legendary creature. A legendary proto, even though red's my favorite color, but blue is my favorite color to kind of play in Magic a lot of times. That was one of the early colors I would use a lot. Prodigal Sorcerer, Counter Spell, love it. But I would say like maybe let's say one island blue and 1 colorless. That would be my casting cost. Keep it low because I wouldn't be that powerful. I'd have like, some kind of silly ability. Steals artifacts. Something like that. Tap to steal an artifact for the turn and then return it back afterwards. Some silliness like this. Proto Man, you're welcome. Thank you, Michael, again for the stuff. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. I can't wait to crack into it all. I wanted to save it in the box because I got it earlier this week. I wanted to save it in the box to show it in the stream. Now I'm going to open it now that the stream is done. And I'll probably do some photo shoots and stuff that'll show up on the Instagram. So be sure to follow the Instagram and Twitter if you want to see some photos. The Blaster, I'm really excited about. Blaster's my boy. No Funkos to the Proto Man. I hope not. You know what? I keep saying this. Hey, you want to send me a Funko? Send me the NFT physical Hot Rod Funko. Then I welcome you to send it to me. That one for sure. But that's it. Don't send me other Funkos. I got the Shockwave one. That was the only Funko I ever got. And then the ones that Mikey and Louie sent me and Symbiote Studios as a joke. That's about it. Oh, it's a joke from the critic. I haven't seen that show in forever. That's such a good show, though. Everyone only knows it because of the crossover with The Simpsons. Man, oh man, though, like it's been probably like the craziest week for Transformer news I have ever experienced. Like I would do a segment, I'd go to bed, and then I'd wake up like in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or something, and I'll look at my phone and it's just like a whole bunch of messages from people like, "Oh my God, in China they just revealed this or this leaked out," and be like, "Oh my God," like, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll record it in the morning." Like I remember waking up like it was like 7 a.m. when the Target news broke, and I was just like, "Oh boy." That's why if you actually listen to the beginning of the Street Fighter segment, I sound a little tired because it was like the first thing in the morning. I was all like groggy, but yeah. Larry says, Larry, what's up, Larry? TFCon in 2 weeks. Yep, TFCon's in 2 weeks. We'll probably talk TFCon next week. I don't want to talk too much TFCon stuff right now because most of the TFCon stuff kind of really percolates in the week before the show in terms of announcements and everything like that. I'll probably save the TFCon discussion on the stream for next week. And we'll work everything out from there. And Larry, we'll talk afterwards about all that craziness and everything. But you know, Stinkfist69, where is TFCon this year? Well, TFCon is in 3 different locations. The one that's coming up in 2 weeks is the Toronto location in Canada. Probably the smallest of the 3, in my humble opinion. That's me saying as a Canadian. The Toronto one is always the smaller one. I find the USA shows are usually larger. The one after the USA show is Chicago. Larry, confirm with me what the date is. Is it August? Am I wrong? I don't remember. Is it August or I think it's September or August, and it's Chicago. That one's coming afterwards in 2022. And then there's a tentative date, but not confirmed for LA, if I remember correctly. But that's about it, really. That's all I know in the short term of TFCon and their dates. Um, but I feel that the USA shows are way better. I find it's October. Okay, it's October. So I don't know. I'm trying to live everything month to month. I don't even know if I'll be able to make the USA shows. I'll see. I'll see how I feel. We still have the Optimus Primal spots that might be the new news or something. So we'll see how that goes down. October 21st to the 23rd in Chicago, Illinois. So yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, but see, Larry's saying October 21st to 23rd. Michael's saying 28th to the 26th to the 28th. Whatever. It's sometime in October. Anyways, sometime in October. LA was in March. Oh, okay, the previous LA. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll find out. We'll figure it out. All we know is in the next 2 weeks, Toronto is coming. The Toronto show. Toronto show. It's okay, Michael. It's okay. It's October for the USA. I'm pretty sure. I feel personally the USA shows are larger, especially Chicago. Chicago is a hub for airports. It's what is Chicago, like the third most populated city in the United States? So, I mean, it's a given. And the past Chicago shows have always been well attended and have a lot of people. My only negative is because we're still in the Big V, we don't have our Japanese dealers and our Japanese guests. That's the only thing that still kind of hurts the shows because I mean to not have Azusa there, to not have some Japanese guests, Yuya-san and you know uh Tomoya, maybe even get Andrew to come, Hydra, like just to not get those guys to come down like because of still like the flights and everything. That kind of sucks. But hopefully we'll return to that normal world one day and we will be able to do all of that until that day. Until that day, till all are cliche. Stinkfist69, I'm headed to Chicago in 2 weeks for that weekend. So you're going to the wrong spot for the wrong TF. Well, it won't be a TFCon, but you're going to the wrong spot pretty much. Um, but it's just again, I like the Toronto show. I've been going to it and staffing with it for God, I can't 2006. Do the math for me. Um, for a while, and it's a good show, but it's clearly the smaller show. It always will have its limitations because Canada does, Canada, the entire population of all of Canada is just Southern California. you know, and not all the population of Canada are Transformer fans. So it's going to always have its limitations. It has a decent dealer room. I think the best advantage for an American coming over is it's in Canadian dollars. So your American dollar is really strong. So you'll absolutely destroy in the dealer room in terms of exchange. So that'll work out in your favor. And if you're a Canadian, if you're just close by, hey, Cringe McCringle with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Cringe McCringle. Proto, hope everyone had a good week. I'm having a great week, man. I'm having a great week. I got a lot of great food to eat later. Looking forward to Velocitron. I am too. It's my favorite thing. I gotta love my racing. When do you think the Red Cog and other Target exclusives will be revealed? Didn't didn't they publicly reveal Red Cog already? I could have swore they did. Didn't Mark already do that one? Or am I going crazy? I could have swore we saw Red Cog already through an official announcement. A lot of those Target exclusives, unfortunately, they kind of just show up. Like they just kind of go like even like with their other exclusives because I know like with when they did Target exclusives with Marvel Legends and even with Funko, they kind of just show up one day and then it just goes through the grapevine. So I'm pretty sure Red Cog will probably just show up. Hey, here we go. Here it is. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Mark talk about that one already? Wasn't that already publicly revealed? Could have swore. Maybe I'm wrong, Cringe. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Just in the back of my mind, I'm remembering that. So I remember talking about it because I remember talking about it because of the entire history of it in relation to Grand Maximus, and all of that stuff. Lizard Sphere X, I think the new Cosmos would make a great Robo Smasher remold. Yeah, I could see that a little bit. I could see that. Change the chest and head, add legs, weapons, and hot. Well, you know what? And tentacles. Number one, Lizard Sphere. It's gonna get a GoBot repaint. We're gonna get our nice, beautiful Pathfinder. I'm looking at her up there on the shelf, mint on card. I want my Pathfinder GoBot repaint. That's a given. I want that for sure. That's the first repaint. If there's gonna be a repaint of Cosmos, I want and brand new face sculpt, not just a straight up repaint. Give me Pathfinder's female face sculpt. That'd be so cool. GoBot love, man. Do some GoBot love. And then Lizard Sphere X says, I think it fits well with the alt mode since UFOs and mind control go hand in hand. Yes, they do. I saw someone, I forget where I saw it. It was just all over the memes and everything. Someone photoshopped it into a garbage can for Oscar the Grouch, which was not very nice, but it is what it is. JR Mina, hey Proto, since you already mentioned you're having great food later, what's for dinner? Pork buns from my local Asian supermarket, okonomiyaki I'm going to be having, and I stopped by. There's this local Jewish bakery that was nearby, and they have these little things called potato knishes, which are just absolutely amazing. And I picked up a bunch of them. So I'm going to be in heaven. Let's put it that way. I got a lot of good food this week. I actually have to do my grocery shopping tomorrow because I was busy out today doing other stuff. I had to get rid of old tires and everything because next week is going to be July 1st, which in Canada is a big moving weekend, but it's also like spring cleaning and summer cleaning. So got that all done ahead of schedule. So it was a busy day for me. Michael Koo, Hasbro, I think, showed off the TF Red Cog earlier May. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, Michael. I remember talking about like the history and everything and how it's related to the big boys over there. So could have swore I did. Could have swore I did. Man, we only got half an hour left. I'm sorry, all the news ate up everything today. It was a crazy busy day, yo. Crazy busy day. But we're getting this dude. We're getting this dude. That's hype as hell. That's easily of like him, the Cosmos, and the Goldbug are the three like winners of this week in terms of news of like just I mean that's like mm, I'm so happy that we're getting that kind of stuff. It's so nice to just see like product that needs to be done. Product that's just brand new and unique in a lot of ways. Michael Koo with the $5 super chat. Protoman, what do you think about Hasbro's Dave and Buster's video game announcement? Yeah, Isabel talked about it. It was a bit of a teaser, though. We didn't see that much. Um, when I went to Niagara Falls, I think I went in 2018. They have a whole bunch of that tourist trap stuff and everything. And I went to a Dave and Buster's there, and they had the first version of the game, which was the one that's shaped like Bumblebee, and then they had the second version of the game that's shaped like Optimus Prime. Now this is the VR station stuff, so they have some kind of relationship with them where they have all these like arcade shooters and everything. It looks cool. I mean, it was a teaser, so we didn't see much. I mean, that kind of stuff is fun. I kind of hope that they then do some kind of a home port at some point for VR headset people and everything, so they could kind of play it at home too. Would be cool. I mean, I dig it. I think it's cool. I like going. I'm an arcade guy. I like going out to arcades and having fun. Like sometimes the most fun for me, no joke, and it sounds so cheesy, is like going to like a bowling alley and just playing bowling and then going to the arcades and bowling alleys because bowling alleys always have old rundown arcade machines and playing pool and stuff. Just tangible fun. A lot of times when I used to go to all the BotCons back in the day, which I probably should talk about BotCon too quickly, but when I used to go to all the BotCons back in the day, every single hotel that I would go to, I would always ask the front desk, I'd be like, do you have a game room? because they always, back in the day, they all had game rooms, these hotels, where they'd have like, 2 or 3 or 4 arcade machines and maybe a pinball machine. Now that's like doesn't exist anymore. Now no hotels have game rooms anymore. But back in the day they did, and I love it because, like, I remember, what was it, BotCon 2000? What was the one in San Diego? I have to look at all the box sets. What was the San Diego one? That was the Machine Wars year. I don't know. The San Diego year, I remember their game room had Primal Rage, it had Street Fighter Alpha, it had the Simpsons game, which this is before Arcade 1-Up could just put that in your home. It had the Simpsons game, it had the Street Fighter pinball machine, which is one of the greatest pinball machines of all time, let me tell you. It had the Elvira pinball machine, like all this crazy gaming stuff. And now, like, when you like now all the TF cons I go to, when we go to like the Chicago whatever Rosemount Hotel, it's like, hey, do you have a gaming room? And they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, gaming room? Oh, we might have a couple of video poker machines or something, but that's it. Now that it's the arcade is gone with the dodo, unfortunately, unless you're in Japan. Went on a big video game rant there. I apologize. Love that stuff. There's a Dave and Buster's in Chicago. Well then, maybe we'll have to make a little trip. Like, for TFCon, I know that, like, for anyone that's going to be at TFCon, I'm going to probably be arriving. I don't know. It depends on Larry, but let's say 12, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do the charity auction with that, and then hopefully a parts party, and hopefully the exclusive too that I worked on, kind of put that out there and get that sold to people who are going to be at the show and given to the patrons and stuff like that. Um, that's the first thing. And then Saturday, I don't know. Aaron? I don't know. Chill at the pseudo stand-in Hasbro booth at the show. We'll call it Hasbro HQ, former Hasbro HQ booth, that weekend, and that'll be it. And then we'll see. I'm just gonna, it's gonna be my grand return to TFCon after 2 years absence. I'm just gonna chill, just relax that weekend. Don't be afraid to bug me to take photos if you want. I know some people are shy. I remember, um, a lot of times I'd look at my Twitter after the weekend because I don't really look at my phone that weekend. But I'd look after the weekend on my phone and I'd see people, like, they take photos and they're like, "Oh, I would have wanted to take a photo with you." I'm like, "Come bug me, don't worry. Don't worry. I don't bite. At least I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Unless you're some delicious Asian cuisine, maybe. I don't know. I haven't had sushi in forever, so then I might bite. But yeah, that's it more or less. But man, I miss the con season. That's the thing. I miss the con season, and now we're slowly starting to get back to normal. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the States right now and everything, but I just hope we just kind of get back to kind of a little bit of a normal world, and we could just get back to just enjoying our lives, and just doing our thing. I mean, if there's any negative, is if we really get back to normal. When I mean like really, really normal, maybe the Saturday night live streams have to be moved. Maybe I might do them on Sundays. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but we'll probably try to have to move it around or something too. We'll see. It's and same thing also, like I was talking with Aaron about this, about we might do at TFCon, we might do a live stream also. We'll probably maybe do a Saturday night live stream live from TFCon with all the crazy people in the background yelling and everything. We'll try to do something. I don't know yet what I want to do. I know I'm going to bring the camera. I'm not going to bring, I'm not bringing the mic. There's no way I'm bringing the mic. Um, but I'm going to bring the camera. I'll bring the stand and everything. We'll just have to rely on the audio from the webcam and stuff, and hopefully the quality won't be terrible. No promises there, but we'll try. We'll try something. We'll try something. We'll try to have a good time at the show and try to bring that to your home for people who can't be at TFCon. You know, we'll try to do something. Paul M with the super chat for 5 bones with Armada Megatron, a possible release. Why do you think Armada Prime? Do you think Armada Prime will be a commander class from the individual segment? I really think so. Um, when you think about it, right? Well, here's a few ways to think about our commander class for 2023, right? And take from this what you will. Do you think, and I mean, we've already seen some of the reveals thus far. We didn't see any combiner limbs, right? So it's not like we have Menasor this year. We don't have a follow-up year where it's like, okay, we did Menasor this year. Next year is going to be Superion. Next year is going to be Defensor. Next year. So far, it looks like we don't have a commander class centerpiece that's going to be for the combiner. So far. If we get Micron Convoy, Armada Optimus Prime. If we get him, and I think the commander class would be the perfect fit because he has that nice big trailer that opens up into a nice big play set. Look at Menasor. Not Menasor, Motormaster. Look at Motormaster. Same thing, the big opening play set combines with his play set, the robot thing. I feel that when you look at what that SuperCon price point was back in the day, oh god, you could barely see him. There's a Overlord, but he's behind there somewhere. When you look at that SuperCon price point and what was the leader class back then, it pretty much is a commander class today in terms of, I mean, obviously it's apples and oranges in terms of the pricing, because as of this recording, yeah, commander classes are $89.99. So, I mean, it wasn't $89.99 for that leader class or that super con or whatever that price point was for that weird naming convention that they had for Armada, for exclusively for Armada for those price points. But I could see it. I could really legitimately see it, and it adds to the diversity because Legacy is all about all these different segmentations. If you have, if think about it this way, like all our commander classes we've had thus far have been a little off centered there. All our commander classes we've had thus far have been G1 related. Now we're going to have something that'll be at least, oh, hey, commander class Armada, 2023. It just missed the 20th anniversary, but it's a 20-year-old brand. 20-year-old brand. Kids who are 5 years old watching Transformers Armada are 25 years old now. They're a buying power. They have money in their pocket. They could be buying Armada. So I could see that. It just makes sense. It really does. But I could also see them if they do want to. I mean, let's go back to the list here. We'll just pull it up for a second here. So far from this list, we don't see combiner limbs. We don't see it. So until we see a combiner limb, until we have something that says, oh, hey, is that Air Raid? Deluxe Air Raid? Then we would know. Is that Streetwise? Then we would know. Is that, nose cone or then we would know. There's certain ones that would tell us what we're going to be expecting for our commander class. So it's kind of one of those things where right now we don't have any evidence of that. And because we don't have any evidence of that, that means the commander class could probably be freed up for something that isn't Gestalt Combiner related. But that's just my long-winded take of it, if you will, because it's still so far away. Think about it. We only just learned about Motormaster just a month and a half ago, you know? And now we're going to probably have to wait minimum a year before we find out about the next one. So it's kind of the same thing, outside of obviously something leaking out, and lists and Walmart listings and stuff like that. But we'll probably get to that point at some point, and we will find out. But I mean, I have a few opinions on that. Like, I think it would work though, because when you look at the play set and you can have all those platforms and the mini cons, and it just works for Commander class. It really does. But that's my take. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Let me see if there's any other questions that I might have missed during that rant. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We will see. We will see. We will see about it. It's been a long, long week, guys. Let me tell you. The news was just I I almost felt like I lost sleep over it. To give you an idea, on average, like I always pull up our slides and stuff like that we always do here. On average, the average Transformer Slag podcast live stream has an average of 10 to 12 slides that we have usually. This week was 27. So it's the most it's ever been. It's the most it's ever been. It's pretty crazy. Because they didn't let up. There was so much news. It was great though. It was really, really good. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. But I mean, for me, right now, like after I'm done today, first thing I'm gonna do probably is I'm gonna unpack Michael Koo's stuff. I'm gonna do some cleanup upstairs. I picked up a friend's video game collection recently of Wii U stuff. So so I'm gonna try to make sense of all that. I have to pick up another friend's Wii U collection too because I'm trying to like build up some Wii U games to play. I've been slowly going through my Switch stuff, but still got to also kind of put some stuff here and there. Lizard Sphere X, I hope Leomon can attach to Galaxy Armor Optimus. You're talking about Leo Breaker, aka Liger Jack, or Liger Breaker. Oh, Leo Prime. Leomon. I was thinking the Digimon. There was a Digimon named Leomon. Leo Prime is probably going to be Lio Convoy homage from back in the day. Which would be pretty cool because outside of that repaint of Leo Breaker, oddly enough, kind of funny how that all works together. Outside of Leo Breaker and some BotCon Transformer Club exclusives, it'll be the first time we get a Western version of the character. Everything has always been Japanese. Beast Wars 2nd, Robot Masters. You can barely see him, he's over there. Um, there's very few Western interpretations of those characters, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. We will see. I would like it though because it's a Voyager scale, I believe it was. Let me just check. I think it was a Voyager. So if it's a Voyager, they could probably do something cool. Yeah, it's a Voyager. Yeah, I might as well leave that up for a moment. Voyager scale. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to cover. I almost forgot. So here's another thing too, guys. I want to address. So let me pull this up first. So guys, let me remind you of what our current prices are. Right. So core class $11.99, deluxe class $24.99, Voyager class $33.99, leader class $55.99, and we got the Commander and the Titan, right? These leaked listings have prices on them. Now, when you look at the Velocitron stuff on the top left, $24.97. Yeah, that's Walmart. Walmart always puts 97 at the end. So that makes sense for the deluxes, right? But here's the problem. Let's start with the core class. Core Slug, core Sludge, and core Sound Blaster. 1148. 1148. 11.99. Huh. Okay. Little cheaper there. Okay. Let's go to the deluxes there. The deluxe Junkion, deluxe Hotshot, deluxe Needle Nose. $22.99. Okay. Is that a mistake? Are they using the old pricing? Are we going to get cheaper toys? Is that what's going on? Are we going to are they regressing the inflation? Or it's just the prices aren't correct? Look at the Voyagers. The Voyagers are $31.49. You have $31.99, the old pricing, or is it $33.99, the new pricing? Very weird. And then when we look at the leader, $54 even. It's not $52.99 and it's not $55.99. It's in between that. Are we going to have cheaper pricing in the future? Did we get some kind of, you know, did we get some kind of, how do I explain this? Some kind of price increase through inflation, and now we're going to get a price decrease? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. That was just something that I noticed with the pricing here. So maybe we're going to get cheap prices. Perhaps. Perhaps we'll get cheap prices again, but it's something that's hard to understand. Michael Koo says, those might be the Amazon USA prices. Amazon USA has gotten TF pre-orders cheaper for everyone else lately. Well, these prices were found in the Walmart computer listings. So yeah, but maybe it might be the Amazon prices. I hope that maybe we have a an inflation regression pricing, so that, because right now it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how transformer prices are, and it really is like scaring away the young demographic to engage with the brand. I mean, imagine if you were like a 10-year-old kid and you're like, "Hey, you want to buy a transformer? Look at those prices. Good Lord. You could probably get a core class and that's about it." So, we will see. We will see. But it is interesting. It is interesting. I just noticed that too. I made a note of that before. I forgot to mention it. Like there might be a price regression in a lot of ways. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we're not going to go back to the days of $10 deluxes, which we had in like 2007. But you know, maybe we'll one day return to that era. Maybe one day. We got 15 minutes left, guys. 15 minutes left in the live stream, and then we are done for the night. Get your super chats in now, because when we are done, we are done. And then I am going to go sort a whole bunch of product. A whole bunch of product. Oh, wait a minute. There's more in here. Is that laser? Oh, that's the buzzsaw. Oh, nice. I don't have these guys either. It's the buzzsaw one. Nice. Someone had a really good, they had a sticker sheet that turns this into soda machines. I think it was Repro Labels that did it. Aaron Black and the crew, you know? Really, really cool. These are cool. I dig them. Never got them. Never got these guys. They look cool though. I like the head sculpt on it. Look at that. Look at that head sculpt. That's a nice little buzzsaw. Looks really cool. It would be cool to get that sticker sheet though. Turn him into a turn him into Dispensor, a soda machine. That'd be really awesome. That's really cool. Dig that. There's another one in here too. Oh, they're all in here, I think. There's Rumble Frenzy, depending on who you ask. There is, I guess this is supposed to be this Rat Bat, or is this is supposed to be Laserbeak? And then this one is Ravage, I think. That looks like Ravage. Is it Ravage? I don't know. It's been a while. I haven't seen these molds in forever. Didn't realize they were in the bag. That's really cool. Nice. Nice. Thank you, Michael. More cool stuff. This one's cool. I like that, the yellow. We got a super chat from Cringe McCringo. Proto, what's your best advice to new collectors? If you're new to collecting Transformer toys or even toys in general, I'm going to use the advice that my father gave, which is collect backwards, which is if you're aiming for something that is more upper tier, expensive or pricey, try to get that first so you could get it out of the way. Because if you try to get it later, it might just creep up in value even more. So usually collect backwards, try to get the more expensive stuff first and then focus on the cheaper stuff later. That's usually the first piece of advice. Number two, don't try to get everything. Spacing is always going to be a problem in your hobby life. So don't try to buy every figure. Otherwise you end up in a room filled with thousands of Transformer toys. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And always price, be smart with your budget and price your hobby properly. I know too many people that they get into it crazy. They just buy a ton of stuff and then they sell those regret purchases barely a month later. There's a lot of crazy stuff that I've seen of people buying. I mean, I see people like selling their Kingdom collections, like they just went crazy with Kingdom and now they turn around like, I need to pay bills. Never spend more than what you have, man. Don't go crazy on that credit card. Always allocate your money. Um, 99% of the time, you're not missing out. If oh man, I didn't get that fossilizer figure. If I don't get it now at full price, I'll never be able to get it again. Guess what? There's so many sales. I don't want to plug the Discord and the Patreon, but if you join my Patreon, we post sales all the time. And I mean, just recently, what went on sale recently? I'm trying to think. Uh, Kingdom Rodimus went on sale. Kingdom Blaster went on sale. Uh, Bumblebee movie Soundwave Studio series went on sale. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch. So the way that I see it, like, there's always sales, there's always opportunities. Don't blow your money. Like always try to like be smart with your money because when you get into this hobby, it's an expensive hobby. Let me tell you, it could get pricey very quickly. Before you know it, you're buying $150 masterpieces and God forbid you get into the third party world and that crazy stuff, you know. There's a lot of different things that you have to consider when it comes to the expenditures of the hobby. Like I worked from 2001 to 2007. I worked at Burger King. I made terrible money working there. And I worked full time, you know? And I was a completist. But, right in the middle of like Energon and Cybertron and I had to be smart with my money. I couldn't just buy everything. You had to really pick and choose and wait for sales. Oh, this is big. Like imagine, like, look, while working at Burger King, you had Unicron, Omega Supreme, Black Unicron, Omega Sentinel, Primus, King Starscream, all those Supreme class figures that were a paycheck in itself in a lot of ways, which is sad when you think about it. You had to be smart with that. You really did. What do we have here? Lizard Sphere X. Oh wait, hold on. I'm missing some other stuff here. Lizard Sphere X. I use those tablet guys to turn Airwave into a repair bay. Makes sense. Pair bed. That's kind of cool. It's true, yeah. Makes sense. Michael Koo Protoman. I included them instruction guides with most of them. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna check everything after Michael for sure. I'm gonna dive deep into these. Wizard Sphere. I got $50 worth of Siege and Earthrise figures for $50. I took out what I wanted and sold them to a seller for 40. Well, there you go. There you go. You got to be smart in this hobby. If you kind of just go into it crazy, you're gonna spend a lot of money that I always say, especially with this hobby, is you should be able to check in and check out and more or less have the same amount of money. And what I mean by that is you should be able to buy toys for $20 and then check out and more or less get that $20 back if you ever get out of the hobby. But how you do that is you also buy stuff on sale. You're not gonna I don't suggest like, look at the 24, like again, I hate to keep pulling up this slide, but look at those Voyagers and those leaders, like 55.99. Do you know how many leader classes from Siege and Earthrise I am seeing? People are asking $30 loose complete or $40 loose complete. The opportunities present themselves join a Facebook group, go on TFW 2005 and go to the buy sell trade forums. There's people that are liquidating their hobby all the time. I'm not saying just eBay. You don't need to check eBay, just the buy sell groups. There's guys that are always all the time. They're like, got bills to pay, need to buy XYZ, need to buy a car, need to buy this. My daughter needs braces. Lisa needs braces. So there's always that kind of stuff. Michael Koo says, if you don't have the money, stay away from third party. They're expensive, typically include most transforming, but It might be durability and quality. Well, to me, I feel that third party is usually the next step for a lot of Transformer collectors after they've been collecting for so long. Um, they usually kind of start looking at third party stuff, and at that point, they kind of normalized in their mind collecting figures that are $50, $70, $100, especially if they've been collecting Masterpiece for a period of time. So the way I see it is, if you start collecting third party, hopefully you have that kind of paycheck. That's all I'm going to say. Uh, that's all I'm going to say, because it gets pricey. It really does. And there's a lot of regret purchases with third party, I find. I find a lot of people, like, they buy, oh, this is going to be the best RC, and then no, and then, oh, I'm going to buy this blur, and then no. Think about people who bought like third party hot rods and third party, there's like, look at the Skyfires third parties that people were dropping crazy dough on, and now we have the Masterpiece, we have the Siege version, and both of those were ridiculously cheaper compared to the third party one. I forget his name. I forget what the name was, but it was like $200. You know, it to me, when third party does wacky ideas, weird licensed ideas that probably Hasbro would never do, Super Mario, Transformer crossovers or stuff like that, or weird repaints. Yeah, sure. Sign me up. That's cool stuff. When they did that Sphinx Pharaoh Tomb uh Mirage TFCon exclusive. Look it up. Like, it was like a Pharaoh's tomb. Like, I can't reach it right now. It's in the TFCon display. That was cool. That was cool. I dug that. So that's the kind of stuff I would dig, but a regular Mirage figure or a Mirage Masterpiece esque third party figure, that's gonna happen one day. So I'm not in a rush for that. Fan Toys Phoenix, thank you, Summer. That big mofo. I think he was like $230. Stinkfist 69, with Hasbro doing away with plastic in packaging, they should pass the buck down to us. Yeah. What's the meme? It's Chris Evans, like, yeah, like this. No, they won't. They won't. They're going to take that profit, they're going to keep it, and then they're going to go to their stockholders and go, look how much more profit we made from going ecological. So they look like a ecological hero, and they get to enjoy showing off to their stockholders, who matter more than even their customers. So no, that's never going to happen. They're not that kind of company, unfortunately. No, sir. No, sir. We have 3 minutes left, sir. That's what I got to say. We got 3 minutes left. Look at Ravage. Look at that head sculpt. He's a cat. But yeah, I mean, oh, I probably wanted to address also. So also, we have BotCon that's going to be coming up. I will not be at that. I would like to be at that, but I don't know. I'm going to see in the future. Maybe I'll come to one of the future shows if it does well and they have a future one. Oh, Aaron Archer is going to. Aaron Archer says it probably is not more profit. It's likely to maintain the scale value. That's true too. That's true. Sometimes it's doing stuff like that. It's like I've always said, getting rid of the trading card, getting rid of the bio, getting rid of a pack-in comic book, getting rid of stuff. It's regressing that extra stuff just so they could keep that price. So, getting rid of the window in a bubble, you know, if that's like 4 cents or 8 cents more plastic they save, they could put it towards deco that they can maintain, or put it towards plastic that they can maintain. I mean, I'm telling you, I was again messing with this guy in Energon mold and feeling how heavy he is. You know, feeling how heavy this guy is. A deluxe class from 2003. Well, obviously this is the Bakon TFCC version, but this mold, an Energon mold, how heavy it is, and how today they cannot do something like this on the regular today. It is way too costly. The plastic is way too heavy. They can't use that quality of ABS anymore. It's a whole different animal. Whole different animal. Michael Koo says, Brotoman, thank you for another awesome live stream. Thank you, Michael. We got 1 minute left, Michael. Get your questions in the last minute. Otherwise, we are going to call it quits for tonight. We topped out at we had 170 people today. I guess people really wanted to just hear me talk about the news all over again. Stinkfist69, I'm just saying to counter inflation and the prices. Nah, they won't. They won't. They're a business at the end of the day. They're gonna do what's gonna help them beforehand because as the old saying goes, they're gonna say jump and they're gonna try to see how high we jump, you know? And if they do Transformers at these prices, and guess what? This stuff sells out at those prices in record numbers, then guess what? They're gonna keep doing it. They're not gonna they're not gonna have that moment, oh wow, it sold out at $24.99. We should probably reduce it. No, they won't. They won't. Not by a long shot, my friend. But that's it, more or less, for the live stream tonight. Thank you, everyone who came by. A lot of cool people came by. All my YouTube members, my Patreon people, Aaron Archer with the Hasbro peeps. Thank you for coming. And Aaron says they are squeezed too. Yeah, they're squeezed for money. It's a different world. The numbers aren't the same. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Again, if you want to support the podcast, if you want to continue supporting us, again, we have a Patreon down there. Come join the Patreon, patreon.com/Protoman, or check the pinned comment if you want to find that link. If not, if Patreon isn't your thing, we have YouTube membership that's down there too. You could join that and get a green name like some of the people here and ask all the questions to your heart's content, like Lizard Sphere X, like Stinkfist69, like Michael Koo, like, let me scroll up more to get one more. Who's the last one of the greens that we could give a shout out to? Like, I know that Primetime was on there somewhere also. So, like Primetime also, you know, you could join them. But thank you everyone for coming. Enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful weekend this weekend, so enjoy yourself. I know it's a crazy world out there. There's a lot of drama and everything, but try to avoid the drama. Try to just enjoy your life. Relax. Have fun with friends and family. Go get yourself a good bite of food and enjoy the simple things outside of just the robots in the skies. Take care. This is Proto Man, and like I say, roll out.